All right, welcome into GT Sports Keep It 100, the podcast where we talk professional and college sports. And today we're going to be talking NBA. There were two games that were played yesterday, actually last night in the NBA. And I'm coming to you today, Saturday afternoon, very excited because my San Antonio Spurs won game number 6 and will advance to the Western Conference Finals against Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, I think that's every NBA fan has been wanting to see this, whether you're from San Antonio or from Oklahoma City. If you love basketball, these were the two best teams in the West. And I know I've been looking forward to seeing these two teams play, and they're going to now. I think it's going to be a great matchup. And game one is scheduled for Monday. So it's Saturday. So Sunday, if not Monday, afternoon before the game, I will come on here on the 100 and I will give you my prediction on who I think is going to win the series and why. Not who I want uh, to win the series, because we all know I'm rooting for the Spurs. But when I come on this podcast, I don't really talk a lot about my team, what I want. I really kind of, look at the stats, look at the series, look at the players, look at a lot of things. And really, when I give my prediction here, and sometimes it'll be against my team. That doesn't mean that when I go against the team I like, doesn't mean that I want them to lose. Obviously, I have my favorite teams and I want them to win, but I got to be real here on the 100 and what I think who's going to win a game or a series and why. So I'll give you my prediction on Monday, either tomorrow, late tomorrow, or Monday afternoon before game one. And why I think they're going to win it. But like I said, I hope my San Antonio Spurs win because I would definitely love to see them in the finals. But this is going to be a good series regardless, man. SGA, Wembanyama, both teams are good. Both teams have deep benches. And every game is gonna. I think they're both gonna score a lot of points. It's gonna be some good defense. I mean, it's gonna come down to mistakes. I think OKC can go into San Antonio and win in San Antonio. I think San Antonio can go into OKC and beat them at their place. This may come down to injuries. It may come down to, who turns the ball over, a bad play. But I think it's going to be a good series because both teams are healthy and both teams can play basketball. So it's going to be a great series. Can't wait. Game one again on Monday. But let's talk about game 6 and how the San Antonio Spurs got there. And they were playing game 6 in Minnesota. Spurs get a big win, 139-109. I was off the record a couple of days ago saying that I thought after game 5, I said, man, they're going to win. The Spurs are going to win game 6 in Minnesota. I really believed that was going to be the case. I didn't really want to go to a game 7 because in the game 7, too much can happen. Even though the advantage is for San Antonio, they are playing at home. It's going to be loud there. You never know. Anthony Edwards could go for 50 plus. Injuries could happen. I mean, you saw in one of the games where Wembanyama got ejected. I mean, so much can happen for either team that can turn that game around, right? Foul trouble, injuries. So I just think you never want to go to a game 7. So I was hoping that the Spurs would win game 6. I actually thought that they would win, but I thought it was going to be a lot closer than what it was. I was really surprised at how poorly Minnesota played, but how good San Antonio played. So I thought the Spurs would get the win, but I thought it was going to be a lot closer, the 139-109. This was total dominance by the Spurs. Castle had a huge game. De'Aaron Fox had a huge game. Dylan Harper, man, love this kid. Had a big game off the bench. And so they got the big win. So not surprising. Now they get a day to rest, and then they got to get on the road to play the hardest team, the defending champs, right? So this series for San Antonio is going to be one unlike any one that they played so far. But, the Spurs have won a couple of games in the regular season. Now, some people come and they say to me, well, Gabriel, the regular season, you've been watching basketball forever, right? The playoffs are a lot different than the regular season, and it is. I've watched enough basketball to know that you can beat a team, you can sweep a team in the regular season, but the playoffs are a lot different, right? You play every other game or so. There's a lot of adjustments. Which coach can make the adjustments? Because it's like chess, right? Who makes the better adjustments, and will win the series, right? So Just because San Antonio has beaten them, I think 4 times or something like that in the regular season, doesn't mean that they're going to go in there, that they own them, and that they're going to beat them, right? This is the defending champs. But I will say this for the Spurs, a team that's very young. You hear that a lot. They've never been in the playoffs. They're inexperienced. They got to take the bumps and bruises like every other team. When you go and you beat a team like this, right, the defending champs, and because they own them this year in the regular season, right? The Spurs, if to me, if you win, if you beat the defending champs once, okay, maybe they were off, maybe you got lucky, but when you beat them 3 or 4 times, that's not luck, right? That's you're doing something good. You're causing problems for that team, right? They couldn't beat you, right? You beat them more times in the regular season than they beat you. And that means you cause problems for them. Now, they need to make the adjustments, and they probably will because that's a very well-coached team with a lot of talent over there. But I think what it does for San Antonio, if I'm a Spurs player, is it builds confidence in me, in my my mentality, because beating them 4 times gives you confidence when you go into the playoffs that they can be that you can beat them, right? We beat you not once. I think we beat you 4 times or 3 out of 4 times. I can't quite remember, but they do have the series wins over them, right? So I think that does something for a young team like the Spurs, who know them very well, play them a couple of times, and we beat you in our place and in your place. So what I'm saying is, for the mental part of the game, I think it builds confidence, which is, I think, is something that you need. That doesn't necessarily mean that because you beat them and you own them in the regular season, you're going to go right in here and win this series. That's not what I'm saying. But because you have beat them in the regular season, there is confidence, or there should be confidence in the players, that we know it can be done. We know if we come out and play hard, hit our shots, play our game within our system, we can beat them because our system has caused problems for them. So going in with those victories, I think, helps San Antonio in this matchup. Now, OKC's been there. They were the champions last year. They know exactly what it takes to be the last team standing. San Antonio's trying to figure that out. And I think that's what makes this matchup must-see, right? Because they both got superstars. They both got a deep bench. They can score a lot of points. They can defend well. So like I said, it really comes down to adjustments, turnovers, foul trouble, and hopefully there's no injuries. But this is going to be a great matchup. This is, I think, if you're an NBA basketball fan, you want to see teams like this go at it. It's interesting, right? You want to come home, get your popcorn, get your chips and dip, whatever you're going to get. Tune in to the show and watch a good game. And look, I've been on the record as saying these two teams, if they stay, if Wembanyama resigns, and I hope he stays with San Antonio, Castle, if these groups stay together for the next 8 years, we may have a player leave here and there, but if the core of this team stay, because they're very young, stay together, they're going to be going at it in the playoffs for the next 6 to 8 years, which is exciting and great for the NBA, man, because this is going to be great. Like, it doesn't get any better than this. So I'm excited about the matchup. And either way, if the Spurs, look, I'm not going to, if the Spurs beat OKC, I think they will win the championship this year, right? Because, New York is playing great. I don't know if New York will make it on in the East. I'm thinking New York is going to come out of the East in the finals this year. They should be, the way they've been playing. I don't think Detroit or Cleveland can beat them, although I think the Detroit matchup, because of the physicality, I'll get into that, will be a little bit better. But if San Antonio beats OKC in this series, then they're, with bar no injury from them, they go into the finals healthy. They'll be whatever team they play in the East. I just after what they had to go through to get to the Eastern or to the NBA Finals, to beat a really good, healthy OKC team, I don't see any of the other 3 teams in the East beating the Spurs in a 7-game series in the finals, right? So I'm saying right now, if the Spurs beat OKC in this series and they go into the NBA Finals healthy, they'll beat Cleveland, Detroit, or New York in the NBA Finals. I'm already going on the record of saying that, but they've got to get past these Oklahoma City Thunder guys, and it's going to be a good matchup, but it's going to be a challenge, right? So we'll see what happens. That game one on Monday, and I'll be back either Sunday, tomorrow, or Monday afternoon. But I will make my prediction here on the 100 on who I think is going to win the series between the San Antonio Spurs, my San Antonio Spurs, and the OKC Thunder before Game 1 starts. So tune in to that. The other game I wanted to talk about quickly was the Detroit Pistons and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavaliers had all the momentum going coming into Game 6. They went into Game 5, played very well, beat Detroit. Detroit was really beat down, losing Game 5. They had to come in. So when you win Game 5, now Detroit has to win Game 6 in your place. They have to come into Cleveland, win in your place, and then if that happens, they've got to go back and win Game 7. So they have to win 2 games, man. So they're down. They're not happy about their performance. Cleveland's riding high. We're going into Game 6. We only have to win 1 out of 2. The next game is at our place. We're definitely going to end it there. Bye-bye, Detroit. We're going to see New York in the Eastern Conference Finals. That did not happen. The Detroit Pistons get the win, 115-94. I'm not a Cleveland Cavalier fan, but this is my criticism of Cleveland. You need to win this game. You need to shut it down. We don't need to go to a Game 7, right? We just played a great game and lead the series 3-2. We beat you at your place. You're down coming into this game. We're going to put it all on the line, and we're going to dive for ball. We're going to do whatever it takes to win this game. But when this game is over, Game 6, we're going to the Eastern Conference Finals, and you lose 115-94. You have like 20 plus turnovers, right? Like Detroit totally dominated this game, and I don't understand how Cleveland didn't come up with more. Didn't play with more energy. It seems like they were content to lose, and we'll just put it all on the line in game number 7 back in Detroit. I don't understand their play. And this has been, you went out and got James Harden. You went out and got James Harden to come and team up with Donovan Mitchell so that you guys could get to the Eastern Conference Finals at least and then get to the finals. Donovan Mitchell didn't even have 20 points in Game 6. James Harden had 23. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. Those are your 2 studs. You got to play better. You got to put this team on your back and win this game and end it. Now you're going to a Game 7 tomorrow. And look, I'll say this. If the Cleveland Cavaliers win Game 7 on the road, which they're capable of doing because they won Game 5, if they win Game 7 and go to the Eastern Conference Finals, we're not talking about Game 6 and how bad they played. That's a forgotten game, right? It probably never be brought up again because it doesn't matter, because they won Game 7 on the road. That might be more impressive, right? So if Cleveland wins that game on the road, we're never going to talk about Game 6, at least not here on the podcast, because it doesn't matter anymore, right? But if the Cleveland Cavaliers do not win tomorrow and the Detroit Pistons win Game 7 and they go to the Eastern Conference Finals to take on the Knicks, we're going to be talking about Game 6 for a very long time here on the podcast, because once again, James Harden could not come up and play big in the biggest game of the series. And that has been the knock on James Harden, right? Can he carry a team? Can he be that dude when he needs to be that dude? Look, he's a big guy. He's hard to guard. In the regular season, he's great. He's been great all of his throughout his career during the regular season. Come up with big games. But in big moments, and the time when you need your star player to be that dude, to carry that team, to win that game so you can get to the next series or advance in the playoffs, James Harden had not shown up. That is what people have been critiquing him on. And once again, at least to this point, again, he can't get the win. He can't put his team in a position to win. I know he's new on the Cavaliers, but they went out and got you for these type of moments. And Donovan Mitchell, man, right? You too. right? You've had big games. You don't even come up with 20 points in one of the biggest games. It looks like these guys just kind of settled in. They were okay with losing this game because we've got one more try. That's what I don't like about Cleveland. And that's why I think this team will never win a championship. They don't have that championship mentality, what it takes, that killer instinct to finish off a team. The Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, those guys would have finished these guys off. They would have never gone to a game 7. They smell blood. They know that team is down. We're taking them in the next game, and it is going to be over. Donovan Mitchell and James Harden do not have that killer instinct. They did not. They could not get the job done. And now you're going to be in a battle with Detroit in Detroit, and you can bet that Detroit is going to leave it all on the line out there, right? Kate Cunningham and those guys, they're going to leave it all on the line. If they lose, they're going to lose with leaving everything on the line. Like the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to have to go in there and play their best game of the series. And it's going to take more than, first of all, James Harden and Donovan Mitchell need to be the dudes. They need to be the leaders in game 7, right? They need to have big games, both of them. But they're going to need a little bit of help from their role players to beat Detroit, because I guarantee Detroit is going to leave everything out there. You're going to have to earn this win. I don't think it's going to be given to them. I'd be very shocked if Detroit plays horrible in this game. You never know. But I think Detroit, they know what's at stake here. They have come back already. They've been down in series before, and they have come all the way back to win those series. That team is confident. They know they've done it this year when they've been down, so they know they can do it again. They feel very confident, I think, at their place to win Game 7 and go take on the Knicks. If Cleveland wants to win this game, they are going to have to earn it. And it's going to start with Donovan Mitchell and James Harden leading the way, both of them having big games, and then getting some help from their reserves, from their role players if they want to win. And I'll say it again, if Cleveland wins Game 7, we ain't talking about Game 6 ever again and Harden's performance, right? Because now if he plays big and he leads this team, James Harden, to win, that's what we're going to talk about. But if the Cleveland Cavaliers lose Game 7, they had an advantage to just win one of 2 games to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, one of those games being at home, and you lose both. Here on the 100, we're going to be criticizing the Cleveland Cavaliers and James Harden. So we'll see if they get the job done. I think Detroit's going to win it. I think Cleveland had their chance in Game 6. And it doesn't really bother me that they lost the game, because I mean Cleveland was playing with a sense of urgency. But dang it, you got to make it closer, right? Like last shot type thing, right? You know, Kate Cunningham or somebody just makes this great shot and you lose, right? Okay, man, you know what? You gave effort. They just made a great shot at the very end. They had the last possession and they won. Okay, we're going to Game 7. But 115-94, you don't even crack the 100 point. And then you're okay. The effort, the energy you came out with, that's not a team to me that looked like they wanted to win a championship. That's just what I'm saying. That is my opinion. And that is what upsets me about Cleveland, not understanding the moment, or maybe they did, but you came out and you accepted a defeat. And oh, by the way, the Detroit Pistons totally dominated Game 6. Like, they had no chance, Cleveland. And that's what's upsetting to me, is that by the amount of points that they lost, knowing that if they win this game, what is on the line? The Eastern Conference Finals with the New York Knicks. You got to give more energy. You got to play better. They didn't. Kind of questions arise. Do the Cavaliers, are they hungry to win a championship? It definitely didn't look like it in Game 6. But they get another game to redeem themselves. And like I said, if they win Game 7, then Game 6 is forgotten. But if they lose that game, boy, are we going to be talking about James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, and those Cleveland Cavaliers. But we'll see what happens. Game 7 is tomorrow. I do think Detroit Pistons will take it. I do have Detroit winning the series. I picked them to win the series at the start before. So now they've got an opportunity. But again, if Detroit were to lose this game, I think the fans would be upset, but I don't think there would be a lot of criticism, because that is still a very young team, right? That's still a team that's learning how to win. And if they lose tomorrow, they were the number 1 seed. You can go back to this season and they did a lot of things. What I'm saying is they did a lot of things this year that were really good. The future's still bright. So if they don't win this game, obviously that would be upsetting. But I don't think they're going to critique the coach. I don't think they're going to critique the players too much because, again, they had a great season and they continue to build moving forward. So the future's bright for them. And if they win, that's awesome. But for Cleveland, they don't have that. Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, they need to win Game 7. If they don't want that criticism, they need to go on the road and they need to win a game. More pressure for those two guys and the Cleveland Cavaliers than I think for Cade Cunningham and Detroit. Again, that's just my opinion. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm definitely going to be off work and tuning into that game tomorrow. But again, I think the Detroit Pistons will win Game 7 and they will be matching up with the New York Knicks. And I think they're the better matchup because of the physicality. Right, and once I find out who's going to play the Knicks, I'll be giving my prediction before that game starts. But again, just wanted to talk a little bit of NBA. We're getting closer to seeing which two teams are going to be in the NBA Finals and crown a champion. We'll see if it'll be a back-to-back Oklahoma City Thunder or will someone else dethrone them. Tune in. We're going to be talking more about them here on the 100. So I'll be back tomorrow. We got other stuff going on. I was watching softball earlier today. My Texas Lady Longhorns got the win in the Austin Regionals, so I'm definitely paying attention to that. And then tonight, Ronda Rousey will be fighting, so I'm definitely got my chips and dip ready for that. It's going to be a little bit later, so I just got to watch that fight and then get to bed as I got to get up real early in the morning on Sunday. But I'm definitely going to be tuning into that fight as well. Ronda Rousey back in the octagon. That's going to be awesome to see. So I'm definitely looking forward to that fight on Netflix. And then I'll come back. We'll talk about the Ronda Rousey fight, and we'll talk some softball. And then some other stuff that's going on. Football, NFL, NCAA college, man, it's just around the corner. So there's a lot going on there. We're going to definitely start talking about that. And then my Astros won yesterday. They're not doing too good. Hopefully they can turn that season around because it's still early. It's a long, long season. But so far, the start of this season has not been going well for my Houston Astros. Hopefully they can turn that around. And then we'll talk WNBA, man. The season is going. I'm paying attention to that. So there'll be more stuff that we'll talk about tomorrow on Sunday and throughout the week. So tune in here to the GT Sports 100 where we keep it real. We'll talk to you guys soon.